It is the month where we remember to be thankful. And if we haven't, if you're not reminded yet, you will be today for sure. I want to introduce you to LaDonna Greiner. And she engages and inspires people to bring more joy to life by practicing gratitude, positivity, and mindfulness. She is the author of the 21 Reasons to Say Thank You book series. She's also a photographer and a designer of a line of note cards featuring photos of the Ozarks. And that is one of the things I heard about her from Brent. LaDonna is a native of Southwest Missouri and a Drury grad. She recently served as national chair for the Association of Women in Communication and is an organizer of the 1 Million Cups and serves on the Victim Center Advisory Council. LaDonna has been quoted in Forbes.com and regularly contributes to the Springfield Business Journal's Insider Insight column. In her free time, she enjoys traveling, hiking, kayaking with friends, and of course, spoiling her grandkids. I'd like to introduce you to LaDonna. Come on up. We're excited.
I'm not vertically challenged. Thank you, Kim. I am so happy and excited to be here today and to see all of your healthy, smiling faces, especially yours, TJ. So glad to see you back. You know, if you can get up out of bed in the morning, you have something to be grateful for, starting right there. As we go through my presentation today, I'm going to give you a number of ways to be grateful and grow your business, but also to improve your personal life. Have you ever considered how gratitude affects your business? Well, if you haven't, you need to, because there are a lot of reasons to bring gratitude to your business. With our social distancing right now, we need it more than ever because we are feeling isolated, disconnected, discouraged. Anybody relate to any of that? I think that's why we have such a great turnout today, because we all want to be with each other. We want to see friends and family. Maybe family, but we want to see our friends and our colleagues. We're so tired of being cooped up at home. I know I am. Well, gratitude is an excellent way to fight these feelings and the effect they may have on your business. Do you think that gratitude can change your business? Well, hopefully, if you don't, I'll give you some ideas today, because studies have shown that people who are grateful have higher social capital. In other words, they're more likable, and they're probably suffering more during this time of social distancing. They're more apt to have customers gravitate to them, employees gravitate to them. Think about the grateful people that you know in your life. Are they people you want to be around? I imagine so. And that's why they do have higher social capital. Today, I want to leave you with 3 solid tips, but first I want to tell you a story that was told to me by a CEO of a hospital locally, and I won't name names, but you all know him, I'm sure. He told me about a surgeon that complained because nobody wanted to be on his team. The surgeons had volunteer staff that would, not volunteer staff, but the nurses, the anesthesiologists, they would all volunteer to sign up with the surgical team they wanted to be on. Nobody wanted to be on his team, so he was getting what he referred to as the dregs, the inept ones. And the CEO said, well, let me look into this. So he did. He did some research, and what he discovered, well, the grumpy surgeon also complained because his colleague, this guy will say, was getting all the good employees on his list. Everybody wanted to be on his team. Nobody wanted to be on Mr. Grumpy's team. Well, the reason, and that is what the CEO discovered, was that the popular surgeon showed his value to the employees. He showed that he appreciated them and valued their skills. He respected them. He made it fun to be on his team. He was positive, whereas Mr. Grumpy was not. He was very negative, and everybody dreaded being on his team. Living gratefully will help you to increase your collaboration and cooperation. This has been proven through studies. So that's why they gravitated towards the good surgeon. And here's your first tip for the day. Gratitude starts at the top with the leaders, just like with the surgeons. If you are pleasant to be around, people will gravitate to you. We all have an innate need to feel like we belong to something meaningful. We need that sense of meaning in our lives, and gratitude satisfies that need. It brings things to you. Well, it sparks the same feeling in your brain that sex does. So need I say more? No, but maybe you do need some more convincing. So I have brought with me today some words from some successful business people. And out of curiosity, I just want to see if you can tell me who these are. This first one is in the financial industry, and it's a worldwide known name. Any ideas? The way to develop the best in a person is by appreciation and encouragement. What, somebody want to just give me a guess? You've seen his ads on TV. Pardon? Warren Buffett, that's a good guess. I'm sure he is grateful because he's very successful. Charles Schwab. Okay. This next one, whoops, I forgot to hide her name. Anyway, if you've read anything or heard anything about Maya Angelou, you know that she is very grateful and very giving. And what she says is, if you must look back, do so forgivingly. If you must look forward, do so prayerfully. However, the wisest thing you can do is to be present, in the present, gratefully. And I think maybe COVID has given us the opportunity to do this more now than we did before, because we have a lot more time to think than we did before. Now, did better on this one. This one's by a speaker who is now deceased, but he was well known as a motivational speaker. Gratitude is the healthiest of all emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. Any guesses?
Zig Ziglar.
Who said Zig Ziglar? Somebody came to. Okay, yeah, exactly. Very good. That's exactly right. And this next one is not by a well-known author, but I really liked it, so I included it. It's by Rochelle Goodrich, and I had never heard of her either, but she's a young motivational speaker and focuses on gratitude. She says, gratitude doesn't change the scenery. It merely washes clean the glass you look through so that you can clearly see the colors. And finally, now this is, okay, this one, no, I've got two more. This one's an author also, and you've probably heard of him. Gratitude is the single most important ingredient to living a successful and fulfilled life. Any guesses? Have you heard of Jack Canfield? That's what he said. Mm-hmm. Oh, you should have said it. And this this last one, it was by a past president. We must find time to stop and thank the people who have made a difference in our lives. Who said that? Yes, who said JFK? Yes, absolutely. That's who it was. So you see, these are all successful people, all leaders, all people who are, many of them known worldwide, and they practiced gratitude. And they said thank you. They stopped to appreciate the people around them. And I think that's part of why they are successful. Have you ever stopped? Well, gratitude and recognition go hand in hand. If you don't recognize your people, if you don't show them that you appreciate them, they're going to leave. They're going to find someplace else to go. Just like the surgical team found another place to gravitate to. If you're in a small business, they're going to leave your employment. If you're in a big business, they're going to leave your department. But have you, expressions of gratitude and appreciation recognize the efforts of others. And these are some of the benefits that you experience and the results of them. You experience greater joy, well-being, morale, energy and engagement. And that directly influences the performance of your staff at work, their productivity, the retention, and the goals that they attain. Grateful people attain more of their goals than those who are not grateful. So, have you ever thought about the cost to your business each time a person leaves? Anybody have any idea what percentage of the salary that is that you lose every time a person leaves? Just a guess. 200%. Take off a zero. 20%. And just considering what they their salary, just considering the cost of replacing them and the cost of training a new employee. That doesn't count the people that they take with them when they leave, which could be customers, which could be other employees, which could go up to that 200% or higher level. The average salary in Springfield is $26,000 to $74,000. So 20%, even if you're a small business, $5,200 adds up after a while. $4,800 for losing your top people, that gets expensive. It's not something that you just want to, you should get, if you gave more time to being appreciated, making them feel appreciated, there's a good chance they would stay around. Gratitude starts at the top. It's not a one and done. You need to be consistent. And that's your second tip. Be consistent. The surgeon that I talked about, he didn't just treat certain teams with appreciation and respect. He treated all his teams with appreciation and valued their skills and made them feel good about being on his team. If you're having trouble being consistent, here's some good ways to bring some gratitude into your life. Start the day with gratitude, what I call gratitude affirmations, where you get up and you say, I am going to land that contract today. I'm going to close on that house today. I'm going to finish this project today. I'm going to get a call back from whomever you've been waiting for. If you envision it and put it into words, it starts your day off on a better note, and these things will happen to you. Maybe you won't get the call that you thought you did, but you'll get another call that you've been waiting for. Avoid generalities. My pet peeve is, thank you for all you do. And I was guilty of saying it too before I got into studying gratitude. What does that really say? You could say, I really don't know what you do, but thank you. It doesn't, it's kind of a cliche. So when you're saying thank you to someone, be specific. Tell them what you're thanking them for. Sally, thank you for the report that you prepared for this meeting today. I appreciate and value the skills of your details and detailness and the work you put into it and the effort. Be specific. Tell them why. Meaningful thank yous increase your well-being, and they can increase the productivity too by 10%. And then at the end of the day, you'll sleep better if you go to bed thinking about all the things that you're grateful for and all the good things that happened to you that day. According to LinkedIn's social recognition program, recognition correlates with high retention rates, higher year-over-year performance increases, and that was especially among those who got praised, who felt appreciated, who got good reviews. And that stands to reason because they were feeling appreciated, so they keep doing the same thing. Practicing gratitude had a powerful impact on those not just receiving it, but giving it. The more employees offered praise, the more they received in return, creating a virtuous circle of positivity and success. I almost said poverty, but positivity and success. So the more you praise, the more you appreciate people, the more it comes back to you. So I got a game we're going to play today. I'd like to have 4 at every table. So Kim and Matt, would you go join a table of 3? And at the 3 table, one of you is going to have to do double roll. So among yourselves, find out whose birthday has been most recent. That's going to be the birthday person. So who's had a birthday most recently at your table? Okay, who are our birthday people? Raise your hands. Okay, raise your hand if you're the birthday person at your table. Who's the birthday person at this table? Okay. Okay, birthday people, take the box on the table, open it, and take out the little slip of paper that's on the top. Now, this exercise is about the words we choose, because sometimes we can think that we're appreciating people, but they don't feel the appreciation. So, read the scenario over and formulate an example in your mind, and then you give the scenario to the people at your table. The person to your left, going clockwise, is going to start the response with yes, but. The next person is going to start the response with yes, and the third person is going to start the response with yes, or. Okay? Go.
What if we did virtual?
Yes. And do you know if that will really make it? Yeah, I know.
Are we about ready to wrap it up?
Look at you, little know-it-all.
Okay. I'm sensing some very good responses out there. So, is everybody done going around the table?
We're done.
Okay. That's what I'm gauging by. Yeah.
We got this.
Okay.
No. Well, so.
Okay, did everybody finish up and we're going around the table? I'm curious, did anybody add a word of praise to their response? Did you add a word of praise or appreciation to your response? Stacy, my mind went blank. Stacy, you did? Okay, Stacy, what was your response?
Our scenario was starting a program, a green program.
Uh-huh.
And yes, but do you think what's going to be the difference in the end? And yes, and forgot about that. Probably won't work.
That was negative.
Yes, or we could go ahead and try it and hold people, record the people that are successful at it.
So you had the yes or we could go, she said we could go ahead and try it. And this was about if you had the going green at work, coming up with more ideas to go green. Which response felt the least appreciative?
Yes, but.
The but. Yes, but, or? Okay. That's true, yeah. And it's just one word. It's just one word. Which one felt the most appreciative?
Or yes and.
Yes and? Okay. What was your yes and?
Our topic was ways to have meetings during the pandemic. So I said we could do virtual, and he said yes, and we could still try and do in person.
Good, good, yes. How many of you said and was the most appreciative? Okay, great. How about or? How many of you said or? Typically that gets the highest response, is that the or. But if you phrase it right, the and can be positive too, and the person making the suggestion can feel good. What happens, that's just one little word, but what happens when you say yes, but, Marcy, how did that make you feel?
It just goes negative, like it can't be done.
Are you gonna jump on a suggestion the next time you're asked, or to speak up in the meeting?
No.
Probably not. Probably not, because you feel like you were shut down. Yes. So and there is an impact there on the giver and the receiver. Same thing with appreciation. If you give appreciation, you're going to be impacted just as much as if you receive it. That's why I really like thank you notes, because it's a two-way street, and you have to spend some time thinking about what you're going to put in that note. And then you have to put it down on paper, and then you put it in the mail to the person, or you hand it to them, and they read it, and they feel good. And many times that will trigger a response on them where they will write a note to someone, or they will be more appreciative that day. Yes, but did I hear? Well, gratitude creates a ripple effect. When you throw a rock in the water, it creates ripples. And the rock is the gratitude. You're throwing that into the room, a word of gratitude. You set the tone for the day. You set the tone for that meeting. You set the tone for that call. And then the ripples go out from that. And that has an effect on other people. If you pick up the phone and answer it and someone is complaining to you, that can also set a tone. That's not and for the day. We want to have a good day. We want to have more joy in our lives. So let's set that positive tone. As the rock or the gratitude goes deeper, the water rushes in to fill the space, and it often causes a splash. Yeah, it causes a splash. Yeah, just like I see. I have to stay here, so it's hard for me, as you can see.
Don't mind me. I just read one
myself. Okay.
Look at that.
Okay, there we go. The water causes a splash, and that splash is the gratitude filling up, and the feelings of euphoria or the good feelings from that person and from the giver as they react to the reaction they're seeing. The splash causes more ripples to go out, and by the end of the gratitude experience, if it's a really deep one, you've actually transformed someone's day, you can, or inspired them. I have an experience where I was able to do this. I was going to, and I apologize if you've heard this story before, but I was going to a meeting to speak on gratitude to the GoCat kids down in Monette. And I stopped at a drive-through. I had just enough time for breakfast because it was an early morning meeting and I hadn't had breakfast. And I drove in, and the gal says, well, first of all, I sit there at the speakerphone forever, it seems like. Of course, I'm watching the clock, and finally she comes on and says, "Can I help you?" And so I told her what my order was. I drive to the next window to pay. I wait again, and I'm thinking, I'm going to be late. What's wrong with this place? This is fast food. And so I go to the next window, and they open the window and say, "We'll be with you in just a minute." But this girl was really frazzled, and I had the feeling either she had a rough start to the morning, or her day, she was new on the job. And I was actually getting irritated, like most of us would. And then I looked over on the dash of my car, and I have these little cards that say, "You are one of my 21 reasons to say thank you." And I think, oh my gosh, look at yourself. What are you doing here? So I picked up the card, and I'll admit, it took me a little while to find something nice to say on it. But I said, "Thank you for your helping, for preparing my breakfast this morning," or something to that. I did find something positive to say. And when she opened the window, again, I handed her the card. You would have thought I'd given her a $100 bill. I mean, she just saw the front of it. She didn't even see what it said. And she was just so ecstatic and so enthusiastic that I was ashamed of how I had acted earlier, and I felt really good. And I got to my meeting on time. Actually, I had time to spare. So you see, sometimes we get so worked up about things, and I'm just as guilty of it as anyone, that we don't take advantage of making that ripple effect. We don't stop to think about what we could do to turn our story around, to change that situation that we're in. And when we do, it can change your day, and it can change someone else's day also. So, tip number 3, how do you say thank you to someone? What can you do besides just saying thank you? I encourage you to get creative. Involve your employees. There's a book out there called The 5 Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace. And if you've ever heard of the love languages, it's by the same author and Paul White, who is a professor. They wrote this, and it talks about your different ways of feeling appreciated, because we all have our language of appreciation. What's meaningful to me, I like words of affirmation. but somebody else may like service. They may want you to come and do something for them. Then it goes through 5 of those. So finding out what yours is and also what your colleagues feel, how they feel appreciated, can help you give more meaningful thank yous. You also need to recognize the contributions that are impactful but less visible. It's easy to give the salesperson that award. It's easy to give the marketing people that award. I'm sure everyone in this room has probably received an award numerous times. But what about the people that support you? What about the people that made that possible? What about the people that pick up the trash and repair the toilets and all these kind of things? They don't get that kind of recognition. It's visible, but what if the toilet doesn't work? It's a big deal. And so they have an important job. Everybody has an important job. So remember to thank those who are less visible, and recognize, as I was saying earlier, with the thank you for all you do. Realize the effort that they put into it, their knowledge and expertise, and the commitment to living the organization's core values. And I hadn't thought of this until I was reading some articles. Give recognition to those who habitually recognize others, because what gets recognized gets done. It reinforces that this is what I want you to do, and this is a great way to do it. So take advantage of these opportunities. In addition to this little thank you card, other ways that you can show gratitude is in a text. Write a letter to them. Now this is a biggie, and according to the studies, you'll feel the effects of this go on for at least a month afterwards. But writing a letter and reading it to the person. Now, I would probably get a little emotional doing that, but reading it to the person really makes an impact. And too often we wait till the end of life for someone, or they're retiring, or we wait for a special occasion to do this. Why not do it now? Why not write them a thank you note and send it to their home so that their family knows that they're appreciated, and the family knows what they do at work and how hard they work. So just to recap, the tips for growing your business: gratitude starts at the top. Be consistent. It's not a one and done. Get creative. And then what will happen is praise that creates a virtuous and a profitable cycle. The more you give, the more you increase your own supply, and it just keeps going and going. And I know there's many in this room that can attest to that, because I've been the recipient of your gratitude. I'm going to close with this last quote. And this is, I probably don't have to tell you who this is, but I'll see if you can get it without me giving you any hints. This really sums up what I've talked about today. I live in the space of thankfulness. And for that, I've been rewarded 1,000,000 times over. I started out giving thanks for the small things, just getting out of bed in the morning, opening my curtains. She actually said this in her book. I just get out of bed, I open the curtains, and I look around to see what I can be grateful for. And the more thankful I became, the more my bounty increased. That's because, for sure, that's your hint on who said it, what you focus on expands. And when you focus on the goodness in life, you create more of it. Who said that? Oprah Winfrey, in her book, What I Know for Sure. And she said some other things and speeches and things about gratitude. You can tell, I think, just by her persona on her show and what you read about her in the not the tabloids necessarily, but the paper and online, she's a grateful person. She knows how to do it right, and she's benefited greatly from it. So, I've given you a few reasons today. I know you can't read this, and this is how I started my 21 reasons to say thank you. I did a lot of research to write these books that I have on 21 reasons to say thank you, and I found 21 ways that it benefits your life. So if you want to see what those 21 reasons are, go to my website. You can print out a list, and you can also get a how to write a meaningful thank you one sheet paper. It's not that hard, but it makes a huge difference. And now, I would like to thank you. I have a little gift for all of you. On your tables, you have, if you have a box that has books in it, You can't have that. I'm not giving that one away, but I am giving you a box that has a card that you can write, a note card from my line of note cards, and one of those little mini thank yous. So there's plenty at the back of the room. If you don't have one at your table, please pick one up. That's my way of saying thank you to you, and I hope that you carry your gratitude and your thank yous throughout the year and not just in November. And now I think we have some time. Yeah, we have time. I'd like to invite you to share some of the ways that you thank people, because I know there's people in this room that do it and do it frequently and actually do it better than I do. And I don't write a thank you every week. I don't write a thank you, well, probably every month, yes. But I do practice gratitude, and I do find it has changed my life. I was a positive person before, but I wasn't necessarily a grateful person. And there is a difference between being positive and adding gratitude to it. Positive's just about me. It's all about me. Climbing that ladder, getting to the top. But then when you add gratitude, it makes you a real person. It makes you someone that other people want to have a relationship with. And so I think that's what we're all really seeking when we look deep down inside. So tell me your ideas. Tell me your experiences with gratitude. Maybe you got a memorable thank you note in the mail, or someone gave you a memorable thank you sometime. Yes.
One thing that I've experienced, and I know other people go through too, is periods of sleeplessness.
Yes.
What I came up with was,
I'm sorry, you want to start it again, just real.
okay, I know that I
not working.
do this. Okay. Am I loud enough? Can you all hear me? Okay. You go through some sleeplessness, and you sit there and kind of sheep really doesn't work because you're supposed to be ready to fall asleep. It didn't work for me. What I found in gratitude when I was really studying it was I took the alphabet and I started with A. What was I grateful for today that started with an A? Did I eat an apple? I was grateful for that apple because it gave me nourishment. B, what was that? And I'd have to think, well, what happened in my day that started with a B? And I'll tell you what, talk about getting to sleep in a grateful way.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you went to sleep, with something good on your heart.
I think that's great. Did you ever get to Z?
No.
And that was the goal.
And when I said I was grateful for the Z because I love horses, and when God created the zebra, He was such a different, magnificent animal. So I was grateful that we have the beauty of the zebra.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter what it is to pull out. It's that you are grateful, and again, it's a nice way to go to sleep.
It is.
It's a more peaceful way
It
to
is.
go to sleep.
Yes.
And one of the things that I've noticed when I practice gratitude on a more conscious level, I feel a great sense of humility creeping in. Because when I know others are doing so much, I'm humbled by what they do for me.
The difference between positivity and gratitude. It's not all about you. Somebody else. Yes.
Say at a casualty, we had to change that because of a teenager showing up that had to switch a bunch of insurance. Why he sent a thank you card in to them. It wasn't to me, but it was my wife and her daughter. Interesting enough, the writing was horrible, and he didn't use all the punctuation right. But it was the thought that he put in there to it.
I'm so glad you said that, because I get that a lot from people. Oh, my writing's horrible. I can't write, because they quit teaching cursive in school, and many kids can't even read cursive, and they print. But that's a great point, because you could probably read enough words to get the inference of what he was saying, and the thought was there, the intent was there. You knew that he was grateful. Great point. Somebody else. Yes.
Well, something that I've started implementing, so I'm in hotels, and travel is very slim and risky for a lot of people. So I've been putting gifts in the room as a thank you for choosing us during their travel. It's not an easy choice to make when you do have to travel. So
Yeah, that's a great, what she said was that she started putting things in the hotel room for the guests, letting them know that she appreciated them coming out and risking, staying at the hotel, and that they appreciated the stay. So we have time for one more? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to put Brent on the spot here. Brent, he buys a lot of note cards from me. I mean, a lot. And your goal, what was your goal when you...
Well, my goal was one a day, but I'm pretty miserable at one a day.
One a day?
I did a couple a week.
A couple a week. Okay, I think that's awesome. One a day is a huge challenge, I think. That it's a lofty goal, but 2 a week is good. Just start out small. And in the books that I've written, I give you some examples on what you can say to people, because people say, not only use my handwriting, but I don't know what to say. But thank those people who don't get thanked very often. I'm sure if you thought about it, and everyone in this room could come up with one person that they could go back and either write a thank you or verbally go and tell them thank you, who just who gets taken for granted, doesn't get acknowledged much. So thank you again for being here and for being interested in gratitude. I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and carry the gratitude on from there.
Well, thank you, LaDonna, for that message. So, real quick on my thank you. I work in education. About 250 people work under me in some fashions, so indirect, direct supervision. When the pandemic started, we left March the 13th. School was disrupted like everything else, and I had lots of dreams about what I was going to get done working from home, right? Well, that didn't work, but I took home some note cards to write all of our staff, all the staff that falls underneath me in the supervisory way in some fashion, 250 cards, bought the stamps, laid them aside, thought I can get this done, knocked it out, no big deal, right? Well, I started, got about 20 or 30 done, realized it was harder than I thought, and I've written thank you notes before. Laid them aside again, 2 or 3 weeks, month. Started going back to work, and I thought, oh no, I missed my window here, right? I've got to get this done. So I had to go home every day for about 2 weeks and do 10 or 15. My hand was cramping, my writing got poorer as I went on, but I was determined to get those cards in the mail. And I got to tell you, if you were one of the end recipients, the message was short, writing was bad, address was crooked, the whole bit. But you know what? I sent them, I committed, I finished 251 thank you cards. And I didn't see those pop up. Well, that's it. I'm never writing one again. They better frame it. But I got back to work, and I have faculty who work for me, and they're off in the summer, and then I have some staff that are 12-month like me that work all year round, and I still get people that will mention that. Probably because somebody hasn't done it, or probably because they're like, what were you doing at home while you were working from home? Were you sitting there thinking about me, or were you like, this is a great idea, something? And I said, no. Anyway, I do think your message is very pertinent. It's not just around the season of giving, it's all the time. You will reap the benefits, especially if you're in a supervisory capacity or in a selling capacity in your role. People will want to do a good job for you, and they want to be thanked specifically, so take the time to do it, and not thanks for all you do. It needs to be very intentional and very directed. We appreciate you coming today. I want to thank Jacob Slatter for your contribution to our community. If you'll stick around, I think we're going to get a picture afterwards, so please don't leave. Don't forget on your way out the door to pick up the very generous thank you gift from LaDonna for 21 Reasons to Say Thank You. We hope you'll join us here in December, the second Thursday of the month, for this luncheon. We will do our awards presentation, so it took us a little while to get that going, and hopefully have some holiday entertainment for you. So if there's nothing else, have a great Thanksgiving, and we are adjourned for today. Have a good afternoon.